Mark in the count. The swing arm now coming back as our countdown continues.
Good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. Happy Sunday, March whatever. I'm forgetting when this is happening, but hello. And the reason I say that is because I will say this is pre-recorded. So I just want to throw that out there right in the beginning. If you were curious why we weren't paying attention to you, we love you, but we can't. So today, on this Sunday, we are hanging out with Nico Artman Customs. What is going on, Nico?
Oh man, happy to be on. It's this was a bit in the making, and so I'm excited to get on the show.
I appreciate you for being flexible, and I respect the boundaries on a Sunday. Is that like more family time, hanging out with folks, or is it a work thing? A little bit of both.
It's more of just like a chill hang with family. Like I try not to be in the workshop, on Sundays. It's usually like get some lunch or something with my lady. We go play D&D with some buddies, and then come home, watch something or whatever. Just relax.
That's right. That's right. I forgot you mentioned the D&D thing. So that's like a long-standing like campaign thing that you do?
Yeah, I think I've been a part of this party for 3 years, coming up on 4.
Love
it's
that.
been a long time. I barely remember when I started at this point. And my lady started last year. So it's a
cool.
long-standing thing.
Did she have like a background?
So she was a big fan of Critical Role. Like her and her sisters watched that. They did like a one-shot at some point a few years back. She was the dungeon master, and she had a lot of fun with that. But I had been going, every week to play with my crew. And then one day I was like, would you want to play with us? Been going ever since. We love her in the party,
That's really cool, man. If folks aren't familiar, you've seen his work before because we've actually talked about his work here on the channel. You've probably seen him streaming. Like you're streaming with a bunch of different. You were with Wade every now and then on Unparalleled Universe. Are you on other streams as well? Like I think I've seen you on Toy Amigos as well.
Yeah, I basically anytime somebody asks me to be on the show, I love just posting action figures or whatever. I love talking with people in the community. And so if somebody's like, hey, I'm gonna be on the show, we get real loopy when we're on the live show together. So he's like, we'll keep it special. I'm on there every once in a while. Toy Amigos, sometimes they have me on, and I'm on Chop and Shop, Dave Wonder show every Tuesday night. Every once in a while, somebody will invite me on something. I'll pop in.
I appreciate you coming here. We got to meet in person real briefly at WonderCon. I keep doing that because I want to say Wonder Festival because I'm dreaming of going someday. But WonderCon, are you planning on going in a couple months? What is that? It's in March next month.
It's end of March. Yeah. I'm going, and I should be bringing my lady. I've been wanting to bring my lady to a convention. And I'm like, let me not start her with San Diego. That's
this will be her first convention ever?
First convention ever for anything.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, I will be at WonderCon.
I love that. I love that you found a nerd to share life with. That's real cool. So I'll see you next month. Definitely stop by the Spiro table. I'll be there again with Adam selling Adam Highly Articulated selling figures. Anyway, okay, cool. Well, let's talk a little bit. Like you clearly, you're a nerd, and I say nerd with pride and love. Can you tell me a little bit more about like how you got into this? Was D&D the entry? Was comic books? Was it like toys? How'd this all start for you?
Really, yeah. I guess I would say toys or like cartoons. I was a big like Cartoon Network kid. was that Ben 10 era, whatever year that was, 2000
Oh, cool.
or something. Like that was a big show for me. But yeah, action figures have always kind of been like toys, and action figures have always been kind of my like entry point into a bunch of stuff. Toys have always been like the biggest thing for me, and then everything else kind of tendrils its way in through that.
Ben 10 was awesome. Like Ben 10 was, so I'm a little bit older than this guy, but when I was little, man, I remember like really little being blown away by the Hanna-Barbera, Alex Toth stuff, the Herculoids, Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest.
So when I think about Ben 10, there was something about Ben 10 that for whatever reason hit me in a kind of a Johnny Quest way. Like it felt like, oh, there's this kid, but then it was mixed in with like, I mean, yeah, I guess like Herculoids and a little bit of Space Ghost because of all the aliens and the different creatures. And then I'd see the toys and I was like, whoa, what are these? Because they were actually, no offense to the younger folk and the toys that you got, but there was a period where like I was less into the toys and properties that were coming out, but I saw those and there was something real nostalgic about it. Like, and also, but it also had a real kind of modern design. Like it looked a lot like the animation.
Yeah, they were really good toys back then.
Yeah,
especially like Heat Blast and Diamond Head were. I didn't have a lot of toys growing up. we kind of like resources or whatever, and so when I did get a toy, it was like super special. And so Heat Blast and Diamond Head were like two of my favorites as a kid. And Heat Blast got taken. It got stolen from me at the YMCA. Like I remember checking my stuff and I was like, "Where's Heat Blast?" But yeah, so love Ben 10. And I recently was doing a rewatch with my lady. I've been trying to get some Ben 10 customs going, but I have so many projects.
Well, what I love about the projects and kind of segue to the toy stuff is that you do kind of jump all over the place in a good way. That's kind of how my brain is. Like I as much as I like have my properties that I love or things that I'm nostalgic for, I'm also like I'm attracted to new nerdy things, especially art. Like I've always been attracted to visuals. And so when something new catches my eye and I was like, damn, that's cool looking, I can't help but like investigate. And so what I like about your customs is you're all over the place. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. I can't believe he did that. So I can't wait to see Ben 10 customs. Okay, Ben 10, toys, comics. Curious, were you like a comic floppy, collect them in long box kind of kid, or you just read a couple things?
So for like I've been collecting comics for probably the last 16-ish years.
Okay.
By like collecting one of my aunties, she was like, "Oh, you need to get off them streets," and so she would get me like comics at the flea market or whatever.
Smart lady.
And so I've loved like comic books and all that ever since then. And I would mow lawns or clean pools or whatever, scrounge up some change to be able to like go to the comic book store, and I would pick up Spider-Man or Batman. And then reread that for a month and then get the next one. So I've been collecting. I have like still all of the comics that I have like collected since then.
Nice.
And like I meant to go to the comic book store yesterday, but commute and then the rain and all that. So I need to hit. I go to Collector's Paradise. Really, really dope comic shop, and so I need to hit them this weekend.
I'm curious, what are you looking at right now? What's one or two titles that you're really into right now? It's in your pull box.
Oh man, the absolute stuff is like where it's at. I was always like a Marvel kid, and then like I pick up one or two DC titles, Batman and Superman, or maybe Harley Quinn or something. But recently, like absolute that's been where I've been at. Also Ultimate Black Panther, that's like a book that I've really liked from Marvel.
Check that out. Okay.
That like Ultimate Black Panther, this run has been really, really fun. And I love the designs. Like that's the cool thing about the alternate universe is you get alternative looks for all of these characters. And some of them I make figures of. So
That's cool, man. I respect that because I also have a lot of friends who are just really into comics, and they can tend to be like weirdly purist or traditional. So when there's something that's different from what they're familiar with, they're like, oh, I don't know, what is that? That's a different costume or whatever. So like the absolute stuff, people like some of the folks that I grew up with that are super nerdy. I'm like, dude, you really got to check out Absolute Wonder Woman. I've been telling them it's like this has been my favorite version of Wonder
Fantastic.
Woman. Just they've woven in the mythology and just everything about it, the look, the tattoo, the giant sword, like everything, the arm, the origin of the arm and everything, the horse. Yeah, it's and people are like, really? But no, man, I love when people can build on an established thing, and the beauty of an Elseworld or like Ultimates is that you can do that. I gotta check that out. Cool. Okay, so nerdy about a bunch of different things. Talk to me about the toys. So you were playing toys, but at what point did you say, have a toy and you're like, I think I can turn this into something else? When did that start? Was that like, were you an artist? Were you painting?
I wasn't. I can't say I was like a super artist or whatever before I started painting toys, but I did, like, I would paint rocks. That was another thing. Like, in order to make money, we didn't have a lot, and if I wanted a toy or a comic or something, I had to like really hustle. And so what I would do is I'd like get rocks from like the park or something, and I paint them. I paint like jerseys or sports logos or whatever. And my dad, he was a construction worker, and he would like take them to the construction site, or he'd take me to the construction site. And I try and sell these rocks. He'd be like, hey, you a Pittsburgh Steelers fan? Look at this rock. $1. And then so I would literally sell painted rocks as a kid. So that's like as far as my like painting.
That's incredible. Okay, cool.
But yeah, and then obviously, my dad would take me to like Toys R Us or whatever whenever I had like a good amount of money, or if it was like a dentist appointment or a doctor's appointment or something. And some of the toys would be cheaper than other ones. And I'd be like, ooh, I could get a Marvel Universe, or I could get like 2 of these discounted Star Trek movie figures. And like build up an army or something. And I 2 of the first things that I ever did, like custom-ish, was I forgot, it was the main villain of the like live action Star Trek movie. He's the guy he had the tattoos on his face. I forget the name. And he wore like this brown.
Okay. This was newer. This is not the original Star Trek. So Next Generation crew?
Yeah, Chris Pine.
Sorry.
Chris Pine live action one.
Even newer. God.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm a young guy.
Yeah. Okay, so it was it was played by Eric Bana, the Romulan who started the whole time rift kind of thing. That guy?
I think so. I barely remember the movie. Yeah, I just remember he had freaky tattoos that reminded me of Darth Maul. I could get 2 of those, like 2 of these like random figures, or I could get like 1 of the Marvel or G.I. Joe or whatever. And so, my dad was like, okay, it was a dentist appointment probably, right? It's like, since you went to the dentist,
since you suffered pain, okay,
I'll get you in, and then you can get something else with your money. I remember there were Snake Eyes on the G.I. Joe. There was Silver Surfer for the Marvel. And then for Star Wars, I think it was like Jango Fett or something. And so I really had to like, I really had this idea. Like, so I saw the guy from Star Trek, and I looked at him, and I was like, he's plain enough where like, if I just paint him black, he could be my Snake Eyes. So I could get one of the other guys from like Marvel or from Star Wars. So my dad, he got me the Silver Surfer, and then I got one of that guy from Star Trek, and then I got another I think it was like Avatar figure, the
Airbender
blue
or blue
people.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And then I took the Star Trek guy, I took a Sharpie and colored him all black, just coated the whole thing black with black Sharpie. And I was like, boom, Snake Eyes. That's like that obviously immediately following, my hand was covered in like the smudged off like purple from the Sharpie or whatever.
The Sharpie, yep.
That was the coolest day ever for me. And then after some time, I took the avatar. It was Jake Sully, and like I took another Sharpie and like gave him a black eye and like a little bit of blood coming from his nose and like stuff like that. So that was my first like entry into this customizing stuff.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and then
and it was because you were trying to hit as many characters as possible. You had this idea in your head. You're like, oh, I can. That's amazing. I was trying to find it. Was it the 2009? Who was it by? No, it couldn't have been this. It must have been because this is like a collector's thing. You said this was like
it was 3 3/4
selector. This one? Does that look familiar?
That's the one. That's the one.
Playmates. Okay. So that was a Playmates figure. Still can get them for $6.99.
Might have to backtrack.
Okay.
He's important in my.
So wait, he had a coat and everything. Did you cut off the coat and stuff? Is that you figuring that kind of stuff? Look at you.
Yeah, just
so you learn by doing. You're a project-based learner, my fellow educator.
Absolutely.
For those who don't know. So you go from painting rocks, and that's where you're kind of like getting those skills. But then you went Sharpie for some reason. You went a different medium when you went with the action.
Because I was like, I don't know if the paint will like get all chunky. That's the thing. I was like,
yeah.
But eventually, I worked up the gall to take that Silver Surfer because I was watching. It was Superhero Squad. Marvel Superhero Squad show was on Cartoon Network. One of the episodes had the Silver Surfer get the Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity Sword, which is like a thing made for the show. But he stopped being silver. He became like a gunmetal, and his eyes started to glow green. And he had the Infinity Gauntlet and a sword. And I was like, man, that's such a cool look. I need to have that. And so that's the Silver Surfer. And so I got some apple barrel paints that I was using to paint the rocks or whatever. And I took the Silver Surfer, painted him a little bit darker, painted the gauntlet, and then I made the Infinity Sword out of like a old gift card or something. Like I just cut
and plastic flat, cool.
And that was my first full custom. Wasn't a great custom. Wasn't my best work, but it's a very special custom to me because that's like where I really would say my customizing journey started.
Folks probably know this, but you're younger than me. We figured out before we started recording that like I think this year I'm officially double your age. But I'm so curious because it's funny when I mentioned like Star Trek, I'm like, is it the new cast? I'm like, the next generation? And you're like, no, dude, when they reset the entire thing. So there's that. And then you said Avatar, and my brain went to Avatar: Last Airbender. And you're like, no, dude, blue people. It's like, oh my God,
I love
references are way too old, bro.
That's the Nickelodeon. That's the one Nickelodeon show I watch because it's cartoon.
Love that. But, love that show.
I love that one. And I've done customs of that, of some of those characters too.
So the reason I asked about, so I bring up your age is because, so how old were you when you were doing this? When you did your first customs, you took this Silver Surfer and you painted it.
I think this Silver Surfer, I think I was doing the math when I remade the custom. I think I was 10 years old. I think it was like the summer of being 10.
Man, so you were little when you were painting rocks, like maybe 9. I don't know how long you were doing it, but
that was like a multiple year long hustle. I was doing that since.
So you were little. Okay.
6 or 7,
Wow, that is cool, man. Shout out to your auntie for getting you the comics. Shout out to your dad for being like, hey, come to work and like sell these rocks. Like that is that's beautiful. Yeah, it's fascinating. We're both educators, if folks haven't picked that up. And, we work with young people all the time. So I don't know about you, but when I hear about other people's stories, I can't help but put the teacher hat on. I'm like, oh, cool. Like I said, you're a project-based learner. Like you learn by doing this. And like, it's so much of like in hindsight, like that's quality education and schooling, in this case, in the arts and in learning a trade or whatever. And I guess also learning to sell like that, like, much cooler than a lemonade stand, man.
My dad, he definitely like, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
Hustle.
First of all, my dad, I can't show enough like admiration and love to my dad, because he was
Love it.
like one of the hardest working men I've ever known. And every day I'm like, I
Mhm.
could work a little bit harder because my dad, like he, you
'Cause
know,
you
there
did.
was 4 kids in the house, and my mom, she was a stay-at-home mom. She had like mobility issues and stuff. So, he would drive us to school. He would, go to work. He'd come home pretty late, and then
Mhm.
sometimes he'd make dinner, and then he would read to me like as a kid. Like I really don't know how my dad really did it, but he, being a construction worker, like I would see my dad and I would think like, oh man, my dad's the coolest. I want to be a construction worker when I grow up. And this is something I was
Love
talking
that.
about with my lady, like,
Uh-huh.
this week. I was reading a book and stuff, and it made me like self-reflect. I've been big on reading lately. And I was like, wow, like when I was a kid, I wanted to be a construction worker like more than anything. Mainly because I didn't
Uh-huh.
know like I could work in the toy industry or whatever. If I had known that
Yeah.
that was like a thing you could do, I probably would have said I want to
Yep.
do that. But that was
Yeah.
such a like foreign concept to me. I was like, nah, I just want to be a construction worker like my dad.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
God bless all the adults in my life. They were like, yeah, but like shoot for something a little higher. You could be more. My dad being the construction worker, my body, he has a lot of like neck and back issues now.
Yeah.
But even then
Yeah.
he was like, nah, you could do so much more. And so,
Uh-huh.
brain surgeon was what I would tell people after that. Yeah.
Damn. All right. But no, that's fascinating. That's a dope story and background, man. This is really cool. So now you're doing this, and then from there, I'm just curious. You just started picking up your toys, and it sounds like at that point something gets unlocked, right? When you don't just see, well, something was already unlocked because you went to the store and you're like, I'm gonna get that, but I'm gonna change it. But
Mhm.
then also, like from then on, once you were buying toys, were you already sort of like looking at toys as like basically blank canvases or
Like the Silver Surfer custom kind of unlocked it for me. That's where it was like, oh, I can make characters into other characters. I would spend a lot of time in the library because they would have like graphic novels. They also had
uh-huh.
the computer lab, and so I could go in there and like look at pictures of like, oh, I want to make this, but like I don't. It's not on TV all the time. I'd walk or bike to the library and then do research on like looks or comics or whatever, and so yeah, that's like how I got my start. Was
That's
to
cool,
make it.
man. I'm curious. At what point did you realize that other people were doing customs? Like, were you already aware? Were you seeing people's customs on the internet at this time? So it couldn't have been. Now this would have been like 2009, if I'm doing my math right,
Yeah, no,
2010.
I
So
was completely unaware that people were doing this until
okay,
it was either I found Figure Realm. Figure Realm was a action figure, website. It had
right.
customizing and
Mhm.
like
Cool.
tutorials and all types of stuff.
Mhm.
And like you would see all types of customs on there. And
Mhm.
that's when I realized, wow, people like do this. People do this.
It's not just
Uh,
me.
yeah, it's not
Cool.
just me. And people are making crazy stuff. And
Uh-huh.
that's where I found Craig Warwick and Glenn Webb and guys from that era, and I was just completely like blown away. And then on YouTube, I found Glenn Webb's around a little bit later, and he would do those not only Marvel Legends reviews, but he would show off his customs, and he would do these like customized along with me videos, and the ones that I tried to follow along with to varying degrees of success were his Baron Zemo and his Mania. Those were the two. I tried to replicate
Mania.
those and like
Remind
follow
me,
along.
who's Mania?
Mania is the sidekick, the symbiote sidekick to
Oh,
Agent
sure.
Venom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So those guys were they like they were like the Michael Jordan and like Kobe of customizing for me. It was those were the
I
guys.
love it.
So I'd look to them, and I was just absolutely blown away. So I try and recreate the stuff, especially Glenn's stuff, because he would do those kind of tutorials. And he was like probably the biggest influence that I've ever had in customizing was Glenn Webb, because I was in, you could probably maybe if you scroll on some of these videos, see like comments from me, like, "Oh man,
Comments,
this is really
you're in
helpful,"
there.
or something. Yeah,
Love
maybe I
that.
don't know.
Was this
And
like your
so
also introduction to YouTube? I'm just
yeah,
curious, like just watching videos.
yeah, just watching videos,
Love that.
like
Cool.
and
Mm-hmm.
and like I never really wanted to be a YouTuber,
Mm-hmm.
but I just wanted to be, one, like a customizer, and two,
Yeah, and
as
mhm.
helpful and like cool as N.E.W.S. And that's why I kind of try and like carry that energy, because N.E.W.S was super helpful on Figure Realm and super helpful on YouTube. And so, I got a lot of inspiration and tips and help. And so anytime somebody asks me for help or asks me for some advice or something, like I always do. Because that's
That's awesome,
just
man.
paying it forward, you know.
Yeah. I love that. And because, yeah, because people can go all sorts of ways and be all weirdly secretive and gatekeepery, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, that you're an educator, so like part of what we do is share and we teach
Yeah,
and
you
we
have to. Yeah.
facilitate and expose.
You
Yeah.
got to.
Yeah. So I love that, man. I love that you're super helpful with the work. I love your whole story. I think that's really cool. Fast forward. So you start developing a body of work. And let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about Artman Customs. You've been doing this since you were little. You find other folks who are doing it on the internet. You're getting the tutorials online and you're starting to practice. At what point do you I want to share stuff? Were you already sharing stuff on Figureem? At what point did you start feeling comfortable?
No, I wasn't even sharing anything on Figureem, really. I just
Okay.
I was a lurker and a commenter. But I think I started, well, one, I had my main like Instagram page or whatever, of just like me from school or whatever, like me and my friends, a personal one. And I would get like a figure. This is when I started like making a little bit of money or whatever, started working for more than a dollar a rock. And so I would get like I get a NECA figure, like a NECA alien or something.
Yeah.
Or some Marvel legend or something. And I'd be like really hyped about it. And I'd take a picture of it and put it on Instagram. Card sin of being a schooler. Oh my God. They lit me up. Everybody in my social circle was like, "Boy, what is this? Playing with dolls now?" And so I was like, "Okay, well, hold on. If I want to do this, I gotta separate this and make it a whole new thing."
Oh man. I know. Kids are
So,
mean. Kids can be
yeah.
mean. Kids can be
It was
mean. I shouldn't say they are
that
mean.
was a rough week. But then took them down, and then I made this whatever, and people forgot.
Okay.
And by the time I made this page, I had already had some semi decent, Marvel Legends customs. And so I just kind of took pictures of those, hashtag Marvel Legends, hashtag action figures or whatever. And 3 likes on my X-Force Deadpool. And I go, whoa, people actually like my stuff.
That's awesome.
That was, I think, like sophomore year. That's how I started the page, and I just kind of stuck with it.
And so this goes back, God, I lost the math, maybe 16, maybe 10 years ish now. 10 years. I'm doing that right. Not a math teacher. I leave that to you. But so this is the stuff, man. If you're unfamiliar, you need to go over and check out Nico's IG, Artman Customs. I have a lot that I just kind of want to look at and share with the audience. And I don't know I hope it's a good trip down memory lane for you, but it's also me just, these are just, you do great work, and I will try my best not to, what do the kids say? To do whatever. I don't want to do that anymore. My kids will make fun of me. My students will make fun of me. But I'm going to talk well about you, right? To your face. But I won't be too weird. But first off, let's start here, because I know that you recently posted this, and it kind of hit me. There was another stream, I forget where you were talking about moving through Target and seeing these figures that you designed on the Target floor. And I saw those and I was like, holy crap, I saw those at Target, because those toys, I forget the name of them. What were those called again?
Ninjambi.
Ninja. I have pictures in my phone Yeah, I have pictures in my phone because I was like, what the hell is this line? And I sent it to people. I was like, do you know anything about this line? Because they're like cool looking, fun sculpts. They're like super funky sculpted. They've got their own aesthetic. And I was like, yeah, this is the kind of stuff. It's actually not that different from my reaction to seeing Ben 10. I was older when I saw Ben 10, but walking in stores and being like, what is that? Like there was something about it that reminded me of kind of the stuff that I liked growing up. And then when I forget, do you happen to remember what stream that was when you said that you had seen it and you were moved by it?
Yeah, no, I don't remember.
Okay if you don't remember.
One. It
okay.
Honestly, statistically, it was probably Chop and Shop, but I don't.
Okay. Could be.
I don't remember.
I saw this post too, and it reminded me of that time that you talked about it. Those figures are dope. They're really, really cool. They're fun. Like it's not something that I would necessarily collect at all, like at this point, but I'm just like, wow. My first thought was like, oh, if someone could turn these into like 112-ish for my shelf, like I could see because these designs are kind of
do one of them. Yeah. Because they are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have an emotional attachment to them now.
So let's catch the people up. So you've been doing the customs, and at some point you become an industry professional. So you do work with Gentle Giant. Can you tell us a little bit about like how that all started and what that's like? Is it like, are you in the studio? You also teach. So how do you do all that?
I've been friends with a bunch of people in the toy community, and one of those people just so happened to be Adam Van Wickler, who's self on Instagram.
And, if you missed it, your internet's a little choppy, I'll say it for you. Playing with myself on Instagram. Yeah. You got kind of cut off there, which is the best internet handle ever. I gotta say, it's great. And I love Adam. But anyway, so you're friends with him, and he's working at Gentle Giant. So how does that work?
Yeah, and I had like, he asked me to paint something for him or whatever. He said, "Oh, this is really cool," and I would send it to him or whatever,
like a personal custom paint this for him.
Just because especially like at that point, I was kind of I didn't see like any money in it. It was just kind of a passion thing that I would do. And so they're like, hey, that's really cool. And if it's something that I could recreate fairly easily, like I'll just, here, take it. And so we became pretty cool. I would hang out with him at like a convention or whatever. And then one day he was like, hey, would you want to come down for like a tour of the studio? And I was like, tour of the studio? Where is it? Oh, it's pretty low and it's a drivable distance. So I was like, oh, yeah, hell yeah, I'll do a tour. And so drove down there, did the tour, said what's up. And then he introduced me to Beardy, who was their like main painter there. And he was like, oh yeah, I've seen your stuff. You do really cool work. Like take this, piece of paper, put your info down in case we ever need some like extra, an extra set of hands in the studio. Just to have you like in the system or whatever. And I was like, what? Nice. And so I, filled that out or whatever. He was like, no, I'm not saying we're gonna call you.
Sure.
But just in case, right? And I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, just that enough. That was enough of like, oh man, this is like a legendary studio, and like, oh wow, seeing all the stuff that they had in the studio and what they were working on at the time.
Yeah. Man.
And then that was what, 2022. And I'm sitting there. Obviously, he tells me like that doesn't mean anything, right? But I'm like, they're gonna call. A year goes by, they don't call, and I'm like, all right, maybe they're not gonna call.
Yeah. Right.
And so I was like, oh man, okay, whatever, and then eventually I do get the call. Like I'm teaching, I think at the first school that I was working at, and he goes,
"Oh man,
hey, we kind of need somebody to come in." And luckily, it was during like the winter break. It was just we had like a couple weeks or a few weeks off. He said, we just need somebody to come in for like a week or two and just work on some stuff. There it is. That's the.
Oh, sorry. Surfer. That was just I put two and two together. That was the first one, huh?
Yeah, there's
the gauntlet. No sword, but there's the gauntlet.
Lost to time.
That's That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so you actually went in, so they needed people in the space, right? So come through,
Yeah.
and you're sitting there. What can you share at this point? What you worked on those first couple of days, or maybe the type of thing you were doing?
So
Was it like
that
paint
first,
this paint master, or
yeah, it was, and it was the Noble from what was that Zack Snyder Rebel Moon.
oh, this
Rebel Moon. It's
Rebel
in,
Moon?
yeah, that guy.
This
Yeah, that guy.
right here.
That was the first thing.
Okay.
That was the first thing that they called me. And this was like
No way.
nothing I've ever worked on before. Like, because
Yeah.
you look at it and you're like, oh, it's an action figure. But I had never worked with the type of resin that they use. I'd never, like, the assembly system for prototypes is different. You know, the level of like detail and stuff that they would want. Like all of it was kind of foreign to me. I was used to just, oh, I'll paint a Marvel Legend. But they're, you know, they hand me a plate, a paper plate, and it's like 2 paper plates full of action figure parts. And I'm like, what is this? And they're like, yeah, you gotta do 2 of them. And I go, okay. They hand me some pieces of paper with like pictures, and they say, yeah, you're gonna assemble it, you're gonna paint it, and then you're gonna like put the pins and assemble it, or you know, put the pins in it so that we could take the pictures and all that. And you're gonna do it twice. Do the first one, because that one's gonna be like for pictures and like stateside, and then do the second one. That one's gonna be sent to China for like the
factory,
as the paint master. And I was like, what? What? You know, I was freaking out. And so that was the first project that I did for them.
Project-based learning again. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
this is your crash course. Like, yeah, learn OTJ. You're like, okay, got it. So
I got
so I'm curious. This is the photo, but then the one that was at SDC, that was SDCC, that in these, right? Were these paint masters? Or
yeah,
were these
those are the ones that I painted. Like those were the ones that stayed stateside. That's
incredible. So like that is actually your work right there. That is really cool, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and you worked on Damon too?
Yeah, and the Queen. So that during that time I was able to just kind of come in for like a week and a half and just work on just Noble. The reason why it was a week and a half is because I did it in like the first week, I think. And then I had painted it, and I had painted it to the pictures, because the guy had came in full costume and got scanned and took like a bunch of pictures. And so we had those, and they gave me, you know, all that stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. And I painted it to match the pictures. But a big thing about the like approval process for an action figure is it goes through multiple hands. It goes through like the action figure, you know, people, the licensor, and then I guess it went to like Zack Snyder as well. And like it could get stopped at any one of those points. Yeah, Diamond Select.
So Diamond Select, then you're dealing with whoever the production. So you said Diamond Select. Who was the other one? Netflix, or the producer? Or?
Yeah, it was like Netflix, or maybe
whoever,
whatever his company was.
Sure, and then Zack Snyder possibly, and they have to say, yeah, this is good enough. This represents our stuff. Sign it, right?
And so,
but sometimes
at any point they could just
yeah.
And so I got notes back on Noble from I forget, I don't know at what point it was, but
it doesn't matter. From somebody. Yeah,
somebody said, hey, why is he green? Should be brown, right? And I was like, the pictures, the guy, his suit is green, right? And they go, no, it needs to be brown. Look at this. And they send me like basically a screenshot of the trailer.
Yeah, on screen,
look at this.
Probably translates different.
Yeah, but then I was like, well, no, I've seen that trailer. He's like in a barn or something. You know, I'm like, it's a dark, like that's not how it looks. And I was like, okay,
this is
part of it.
The classic, you know? The old school nerd thing. This is the classic Empire Strikes Back Han Solo action figure versus picture, like, you know, like is it blue? Is it
what is it?
Okay, so then you had to redo the classic whole thing?
Blue dress with black stripes, white dress, gold stripes, or whatever. Like it was that type of deal.
Yeah. Did you start from scratch? Or did you with another prototype?
The coats, like the coat parts and the pants, which was like, luckily I didn't have to touch the face. They approved like the face. That was the thing I was mainly worried about. It was like maybe the likeness or the hair came back or whatever. And they're like, nah, it just needs to be brown. And I was like, what? And that's a thing that happens constantly.
So what I'm looking at just, on screen, it's looking a little bit khaki green with some brown into it, but I'm just saying. No, okay, cool. Yeah. So then you approve it. I haven't actually seen these figures. So did they produce these?
No, they Diamond went under.
Diamond went out. That's what I was wondering. Okay. So then they do these or the House of the Dragon. Okay.
No,
okay.
Unfortunate. But
okay.
These are floating around somewhere. So I'm like, if I could find somebody who has any one of these prototypes, I'll buy them. I'll buy them. I want them. Man, stuff pops up on eBay every once in a while.
How do you move forward when you got to, school starts back up and stuff? How are you managing all
that? When it got to that point, they're like, okay, cool. You finished the Noble. If there's any more revisions that come, any comments, we'll call you back. But if not, we'll be seeing you, I guess. And I was like, okay, cool. And so another like half a year, 9 months goes by, and I'm like, I don't think I'm getting a call back. Yeah, okay. Well, it was cool that I got to do that one. Yeah. And then I get another call. Hey, we need another set of hands. We're swamped right now. You're gonna be working on some more figure stuff. I go, okay, cool. But then I'm like, ooh, but I like school is in session. Yeah. And I'm like, and I'm like, what are the studio hours? Can I come in a little bit later? Like,
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. Usually we close up and lock up, but like, you can come in. We'll figure something out. So I would finish up the day, like teaching or whatever. And then boom, if there wasn't like a meeting or something that I had to be in, immediately hop in the car and drive to the studio. And luckily, like the school I was at was closer to the studio than my actual house. So like it would be like 20 minutes, like a 20-minute drive, which for LA people, that's easy. Yeah, that's nothing. That's quick.
Okay. So you're like grabbing dinner and you're eating at the studio and painting?
Not even.
You're not even eating
dinner when I get home. I'd have a protein shake or something. And so I'd get in, like 3 hours or whatever. And then I'd be absolutely swamped and then drive home, maybe get some dinner, and then go to bed and start over, repeat the process for a number of weeks. That was like a little bit like maybe like 2 months. It was a 2-month stretch of like doing Damon and Queen. I think those came together. Those were paired. So I was just working on those, and it's 2 of each, right? So it took me quite a minute. It looks like they're all just dressed in black, but there's a lot of shading and stuff going on. Right. You can see the cape is broken in a couple places. That's Adam. Adam.
This is Adam right here. That's Adam. And that's Adam.
Yeah, that's Adam. And I told him specifically, I was like, look, these are brittle plastic. Don't break my stuff. And he goes, no promises. And then I see him at San Diego, and that's the state the cape is in, and so I'm like, I'm seeing them, to go into the story or whatever. Fast forwarding a little bit, I'm at San Diego Comic-Con, just walking around. Adam does not tell me my stuff is on display. And it's the last day of the convention.
Wait,
I'm just walking around.
Really?
Whole time. So I'm just walking around the convention for like 3-4 days or whatever. Boop, 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 boop. Finally, I'm like, all right, let me see what Diamond has or whatever. And I go, wait a minute. Man. And I see him. And like, oh man, I start welling up. Maybe a tear or two. People are looking at me crazy because I'm crying at the action figure display or whatever. But that was that was something special.
Wow. Okay. Well, Adam, what's up with that?
And I was like, Adam, why?
Was it because he didn't want you to see that he broke him, or that he probably didn't even think about it?
He just hit me with a little shrug. He's like, and I was like, And I was like, you would have let me leave here without seeing that my stuff was on display. I'm gonna hate you forever. And he's like, but I got it on display though. And he's like, I was like, all right, fine. Yeah, I forgive you.
That's great though. You got the picture and everything. They look great, man. And I'm kind of bummed. I was actually the Rhaenyra she looks cool. But
Mhm.
Damon is particularly like action, like generic action enough to be on my shelf. But
Yeah, and they were
oh well.
like really good
Rest in peace,
articulation
Diamond.
schemes. That's the thing that was like so
This
sad
would have
about
been
it.
like a
Man,
next
these would have
level
been good
for Diamond.
Yeah, this would have been like
Yeah.
an evolution for Diamond, kind of. But yeah, I'm so sad that these didn't get made. But that's why it was so special when I saw the ninjutsu guys, or the ninjambi guys on the show.
Yeah, because you finally got your production figures.
Yeah, I finished up those 2 figures, and then
Mhm.
another Radio Silence kind of thing. And I remember like going to I was trying to figure out a way to go to Comic-Con. And I was like, I don't know, if I have to spend a whole bunch, like it probably might not be worth it. And then I got to drive down there, figure out a place to stay, whatever. And Adam's like, oh, hey, you need a ticket? So the reason why I was there was because Adam like hooked it up, so that
awesome.
He got me a ticket.
Very cool.
So I saw those on display, and that was like really cool. And then a little bit of Radio Silence. Then I get the Ninjambi thing like another 6, 9 months or whatever later. And it's like, yeah, just something quick. We're gonna be working on these little goofy things. And I'm like, what is this? What are we working on? And he goes, I don't know. Just make it look good.
No, they're super fun there. And I remember sending them to a bunch of people when I saw them at Target. It's like, does anybody know what these are? Like, no. Like, these are really cool looking characters by MGA.
Yeah, MGA. Yeah, that's the one.
Which
that's the one.
Did you work? The blue one? The blue face one?
Yep. That's my guy right there.
Look at that. Yeah. So that's the other thing, is the features, the play features are cool. They like got cool sculpts. They're very kid friendly. Look at that. They're like super it's like new school graph style or tattoo style, where it's just all exaggerated proportions.
And they have like the slime paint splatters on them. Like they just look really, really fun.
That's cool. And did you pick these up?
I did. I did get I'm not gonna lie, I raided the Target. I got a whole shelf.
Nice.
I ordered a couple extras because I was giving them away as like to people who are important in the journey. I gave my dad one, I gave my mom one, my grandparents, everybody was getting it as like a Christmas gift or whatever. And I was like, yeah, guess who made that? That's me.
It's cool, man. These are like really fun toys. And I get excited when I see like good looking toys and like super fun toys, because sometimes when people go kid friendly, I think there's just this sentiment where like, oh, the kids don't need that much. But I'm like, no, but it's also like inspiring. Like, give them cool art, give them cool looking characters, and like they deserve it. And the action features are killer. Look at that slime, man. That's dope.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. I played with one of them. It's got the Nico stamp of approval. Okay, it's a fun figure.
That's great, man. I love to hear that. And so you're continuing to do some stuff, I'm sure, here and there. I don't know how you're doing it as a teacher.
That first stint of like, oh, I could just go into the studio immediately after teaching the full day. And it was that was a rough adjustment. It was a very rough adjustment. My lady was like, "Are you sure? Yeah, you want to do this? Like you're kind of running on empty fumes." I was like, "No, this is the dream, babe."
Booyat is what we say. My folks say you get, booyat is like you're so exhausted to the point where like you might be getting sick, but it's worth it. You got the passion, and you're just like, I'm doing something cool. On top of that, you're doing customs still, like, and so can we take some time to look at your work? Like, I'm going through this, I'm seeing like Legions figures, I'm seeing Marvel Legends stuff, all sorts of customs, random characters. We're definitely going to be looking at some Boondocks. So I'm just going to throw some stuff out and just be like, hand you your flowers, but also just inspire people. Part of what I appreciate about your stuff isn't just like, oh, he does cool customs, but you do customs of stuff that like really needs to be made, or maybe it's just really obscure, but like it's so cool that someone was like, I want that on my shelf. So of course we've got this guy, Isaiah Bradley, straight up like basically comic book look. But
I have a poster of that exact picture. I got it from from Joey. Yeah, it's right there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Such a great shot. Reclaim Joey. So that was his custom that he asked you to paint the head for?
So we met each other at Legion's Con. He was like, "Man, I wish I could pick up one of those like Isaiah heads. Like if I knew you were coming, I would have asked you to like do one for me or something." And I was like, "Well, you're in luck because I brought one with me because somebody who was supposed to be there that I wanted to give it to as a gift wasn't able to make it to the convention last minute.
Okay.
They had some come up. And so I was like, "You're lucky. I have like one in hand actually." And he was like, "What? No way." And so he got it from me. And then he put together this custom, and it came with the shield and all that stuff. And then he put together this custom and like took some really phenomenal pictures and video to the point where I asked him, "Yo, can I get this as a print?" And so now it's on my wall.
And shout out to the sculptor.
Aerobus.
Do you
Aerobus
remember?
22. Yeah, that's my boy. We go way back in this toy game, man.
Great job translating from, I'm assuming, comic, just real awesome translation of the artwork. It's cool, man. He looks great. All the texture and everything that you then bring to life in the colors with that sort of like light blue kind of treatment too.
Yeah, and that's one of the few ones that like I did the eyes on, because usually I white out the eye, but sometimes I actually do the pupils.
Yeah, they look really good, man. They look really, really good. How long does it take you to do something like this? Curious.
Ooh, if I don't get distracted and paint multiple heads at once, one head could take me like an hour and a half to do, maybe. From like start to finish, like prime, paint, seal. But I'm constantly like working on at least 5 heads at a time, and they're all different. So I'm bouncing back and forth. So it takes me, a little bit to get stuff done. Especially because like Isaiah Bradley is a very important character to me. And so like I want to share the love, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, and get that out there. Yeah, he looks fantastic. Shifting gears, speaking of Avatar the Last Airbender, yeah, when I saw Buff ready to fight Boomy, this is cool. Like and I've shown this on the channel before, but I no real reason other than say, man, this is cool. And I love, again, you got the variety. But I am kind of curious. So you're dealing with a 3-dimensional medium that has some level of realism to it. Obviously the Avatar art is 2D. It's relatively flat. The colors tend to be more limited. So how do you kind of like, I don't know, do you find it hard to kind of do the translation and figure out like the shading in the beard and stuff? And I know a lot of that's also the sculptor.
This was JC Iron. I don't know if he's still in the game, but we did a lot of stuff, a lot of collab work back in the day.
Well, but how do you do the translating? Do you really think much about that, or you just kind of like look at the guide and just kind of do your thing based on your eye? Or
yeah, so some of it is just kind of like feel, like I feel like this. Like sometimes it's trying to match an existing body or whatever that I have on hand. Because a lot of the times I'll see a figure again, like kind of like with the Star Trek guy, with Nero. It's like I'll see a figure and I go, I could turn him into X, Y, and Z, right?
Right.
And so for like this one, I kind of just wanted a King Boomy, and I said I'll figure out a skin. I'll figure out a base body for it later. So this is the one that I had as the placeholder because I want him to be buff. And then around the time that I was finishing this one, that's when Dalsim was hitting at Target, and so I picked him up. And I said, wait a minute, this guy looks almost perfect for Boomy. I just need a little bit of repainting, and then he's there, And I literally just recently finished painting that head for the Dalsim body. So I'll
the Jada scaled one, yeah.
It's this like funky orange, but I kind of like it. And so hopefully I'll finish painting the Dalsim body and post that up soon.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, Boomy's great character, but the eyes, right? Again, going back to like, that's like what, 3 different colors in there, and you're trying to get that lighter blue just enough to get that tiny outline around it. That's wild.
Yeah, it's it's intense. That's why when I can cheat and not paint pupils, I love it. I love when I can
course, I get it. Looks great. Yeah. We got Boomy. Are these in the right order? They are in the right order. So I remember showing this when it first came out, and this, if I remember correctly, when I first showed it, it wasn't too long after they had announced the Walt Disney animatronic. Did that kind of coincide with this, or was that totally just separate?
It was a happy accident, kind of, because I had been working on the Robo Walt idea for a little bit. I was kind of thinking, originally I wanted to do the Mark I Iron Man, like big clunky, kind of like a steampunkish
with a tiny Walt Disney head,
tiny Walt head in like a jar with like frost and stuff.
Sure, right.
So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do that. But then I saw Pretty Boy, and I was like, if we're going with the like creepy factor of the Mickeys in the back, like probably the Pretty Boy look is gonna fit a little bit better. I still want to do the big clunky frosty Walt, but I'll get to that eventually.
That sounds great, man. I really love it. I sent it to an Imagineer and who appreciated it as well. It's hilarious, man. And these are all great. All right. I love that one. And this was the other one that I showed when you had it up, because I'm a big fan, like with Avatar, when folks, it's basically the NECA gargoyles effect, right? I know some people were like, oh man, I want it more on model like the animation. But I personally love when, they figure out an art direction and they're like, let's translate it to this art direction. And so that's kind of like this, right? It's like taking the Adventure Time, super flat, super stylized. How do I translate that for the real world? Yeah. I love that. And you do it so well. And the sculpt here is Isaiah Makes Stuff.
Yeah, Isaiah Makes Stuff. Yeah, that's my boy. He's in Australia, and he's always making stuff for me. We're working on like 10 things right now. So you're gonna see like a Queen Tyranny, the Queen of Mars. You're gonna see a couple of Black Panthers from me and him. So a bunch of stuff. I love working, especially because like you see the quality of his sculpt work, on that head sculpt.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, a good sculpt really makes it a breeze and really fun to paint. Some people will commission me and it'll be a sculpt, and I go, this isn't really fun to do, but this is like, I love this stuff.
Were these? So you went to Legions Con 2025?
Yeah, 2025. In fact, 2025, 2024.
So I was there in 2024, and I'm bummed that we didn't get to cross paths. I should be there in 2026. I was stuck in the Spiro booth again. Yeah, that's where I was.
You know why we didn't bump into each other? Because we're on opposite sides. Like,
you were
I was on the opposite side. Yeah, I was at a table.
Whose table were you at?
Lenny, my boy Lenny, Kingpin Customs.
Kingpin.
NYC Figure Fanatic, and like there was a bunch of us.
You were probably right on the other side.
Literally right? On the other side. Yeah.
With Retrospect.
Right next to Wade.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you were right there. Got it. Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. This guy.
Yes.
So I think when I talked about him, I was like, it's Granddad. I was like, no, that's not Granddad. That's the dude that Granddad fights. This is the blind dude, right?
Yeah, that's Stink Meaner. Yeah.
Stink Meaner? Stink Meaner.
Stink Meaner, yeah.
Yeah. Colonel, right? Colonel Meaner, if I'm remembering. Yes. But wow, this is awesome that you did this. Shout out Aaron Magruder. I love the So again, I'm old enough to know the Boondocks comics when that was coming out when I was in college, and we were passing that around. We're like, oh, dude, it's kind of lefty. He's cool. It's all like black nationalist, like this little black nationalist Huey. His name is Huey. We're like, what?
Yeah.
And he has to deal with his brother who doesn't care, and it was the coolest thing. But it's so. I'm just curious. Is it because the sculptor made this head, or how did you? Was this something where you're like, hey, can somebody make me this head?
That's one. Yeah, that's one that I commissioned.
Oh, no kidding.
I commissioned that from JC Iron 3D. Like a lot of the stuff that you see that's like way out of left field is usually a commission. Because one thing like that I really love about what I get to do is I get to make cool stuff, and then people say that cool thing that you made is valuable and they'll pay me for
Mhm.
it. And then I in turn get to other artists to make more cool stuff, right? Like I'm
Yeah,
very much like artists supporting artists. And like
that's
I
great.
have some sculpting skills myself. I'm not great for real likenesses or whatever, but I know my way around around Blender and ZBrush. But
Cool. Cool.
I like to, since I'm a painter, right? Like by trade, that's my main thing. I say, let me take some of this money that I get from painting things and put that into the hands of people that are sculpting. And so I love to commission, people to sculpt new stuff. And I'm always looking for new sculptors to like help, build their skills, build their library, build their portfolio. And so yeah, this was one where I was like, I need a stink meter. So I commissioned it.
That's great, man. I love it. It's so cool because it's such a cool pool too, and I love it. He's kicking Luke Cage's ass. It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I'm not good at ACBA, but every once in a while I have some fun with I try and think of cool ways to show off my customs.
What's the base figure on this guy?
That is Peter Parker, MCU Peter Parker from the 2-pack with Ned.
Very
Ned
cool.
Leeds. Yeah.
Dude, I
And
love it. I didn't realize that you were commissioning folks to do these specific things because there's a lot of them are like out of nowhere, left field, and that's kind of where my brain goes.
Mhm.
So I dig it. I love it. And again, these are characters that we don't see enough of. So even though I know, like, I don't have the IP to make this stuff, no one's making, this guy.
Yeah. No,
And
nobody.
he lives on in the culture, right? He lives on us remembering him and being like, oh man, yeah, I remember Boondocks. And fun fact, I'm Filipino. Boondocks comes from our word. That's our word for mountain, bundok. And then during the Philippine-American War, when the Americans killed way too many of my people,
A lot.
yes. I remember growing up, it was learning 1.5, 1.8, and then now 1.8 million. Now they're back to like 200,000, 250,000. Either way, horrible stuff. I live in the Bay. They launched from here, and some of the worst things that eventually like became practice in like Vietnam. Sorry, I'm going off. But the soldiers, the U.S. soldiers, heard the Filipinos talking about the bundoks, the mountains. Yung mga bundok, B-U-N-D-O-K. And then it became the boondocks, the boonies. Wow. So anyway,
learn something new every day. Thank you.
Can't take the teacher or the Pinoy out. I gotta wrap. This is great. And what's great, so while we're there, I'm always like, man, I can't wait to see a bunch of figures of like stuff from my culture and characters that look like me. One, there aren't enough characters that are Filipino, but they're slowly getting there. But like, so at Legions Con 2024, if you're behind us, Retrospect Custom Leland Okendo. Did you ever meet Leland?
Yeah. No, Leland. Yeah, I talk with Leland all the time.
Okay, so you know him, and he does dope stuff. Like he'll do creatures from our So I get excited and way hyped on that, and I also get hyped on this stuff. And so I love that you're able to do that. You're just like, these are characters that I love. Me between Isaiah Bradley, this guy, and a bunch of the other things that you do that are going to come up. I love that you have that, and people can kind of see it and like, oh, cool. Let's look at these dope black characters that I don't see enough of. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, and Leland is like an inspiration to me because he does do that. He does pull from like culture to make stuff. And so we had this kind of idea last year where we were like, oh, let's all make, because there's also Lenny at the table. And we're trying to come up with like a collective name or whatever, but like making customs based off of like our culture and stuff. And so he does a lot of the Sugar Skulls and Katrina customs.
That's right.
And then obviously,
yeah.
So like, I'm like, okay, well, this year I'm trying to make some like Legions customs. I want to make like I have this big painting from my great uncle when he passed away. He left me this huge painting of Ogun, who's like a Yoruba god. And I want to make a figure based off of that specific painting. And like, I want to do a Bass Reeves. Like, I want to have Saint Maurice. I want to have some of those like some of those at my table, and we're all going to do like some
Oh
stuff.
shoot! Look at this. It's February 19th. It's still February when we're doing this. So damn it, it's Black History Month now. But yeah, that was great. I was just my kid and I we got a book from the library of the Black West, I think is what it's called. It's like a graphic novel about Master Reeves is in there and a bunch of other folks. Lone Ranger, dope. I love it, man, and I hope you guys. I don't know if you're doing that. I mean, you're still doing things, but I don't know if there's a name or whatever. But I love to see it. My brother spent a lot of time at that show, at that booth, looking at stuff and grabbed a couple scopes. So here is. Then we'll move on to folks infected by some cordyceps, like The Last of Us. Again, just one of those cool things where, like, yeah, plop it on any figure. But they're infected. Just cool stuff. Beautiful paint job. Excellent paint job. And the sculpt, of course, is not here.
Those were, because I think I posted a couple of them like earlier and tagged the guy, but I got them from Hottest Fuzz. I got most of those from Hottest Fuzz.
Okay.
And yeah, just beautiful. Painting up. Those were a lot of fun. I love doing zombie stuff.
It's beautiful. I mean, but it's also very natural, right? It's like fungus, and they are fungus. They're cordyceps, but like a little bit of cauliflower going on in there. But the coloring, right? That beautiful coloring, like, and then
the white and the orange, and I went to a farmer's market and I saw like a bunch of there's a mushroom guy, and I was like, oh, whoa,
yeah,
that was
nice.
Taking a little bit of inspiration from it.
Yeah. So many nooks and crannies. But special shout out to the blood, or that bloody look. It's not that deep red. It looks like it's been, wet and caked on and dried out. Yeah.
Here and there.
See-through, translucent. Looks really good. Love these. Again, we're just moving on. This guy. I love that you kind of like booed yourself here on the Bell of Shame.
I know.
Those are fun, man. I can't. There are all sorts of ones that I grab every now and then, especially if they're like a good price, like that Hellboy that they just announced at Toy Fair. I'm hoping it ends up at a good price because I could do something with that. But this is pretty cool. Like, you weren't satisfied with the head. In this case, I'm assuming this is just for you. You just wanted to make a good ghoul for you.
Yeah, this is just for me because I love the ghoul in the show. And so I repainted the stock head, and then I added a couple extra ones from Tristan Miller, fantastic sculptor. He goes by The Glowing Ghost. He did a set when the first season came out, and I bought it then, and never got around to putting together a figure. And then I bought the ghoul and just scaled them and painted them to go on there.
That's cool.
So a little bit of extra expressions.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff, man. So it's all over the place. And again, that's how my brain works. I'm nerdy about a lot of different things and visuals. So just geeking out on, there's the before and the, and then, yours are a little bit better. No, I'm just kidding. Yours are fantastic.
I'm learning.
No shade to the person who worked really hard, both with a paint master and at the factories to produce this figure. I get it.
Yeah,
I like your stuff.
I don't poo-poo on like paint apps as much anymore because I know like the work that goes into painting a paint master and how they can come out, from the factory. So like, I'm like, hey. We don't know what that first run looked like, and how many revisions they had.
You don't know exactly. You don't know the notes along the way and the whole story. I know. Very cool. All right. This is shout out to Josh Brown Customs. But this is his sort of providing a sculpt that can remind people of the recent Netflix Guillermo del Toro film. But this is really cool. And I love this figure. I stupidly have 3 of these creatures just because I really love that body and lots of different ways to display it.
Okay. I've got 2, and I've got one of the green ones on the way.
Okay. So you get it.
Not alone.
Right. Look at that. I didn't realize it at first when I saw it. I was just like, oh, that's cool. And Josh is like, no, that's from that one scene in the film. I was like, oh, got it.
Yeah.
That crazy apparatus. Such a cool art direction in that film.
So much stuff from that movie was like visually it was just eye candy. I love Del Toro. I saw the movie in theaters with my lady. Shout out to
Nice.
being in LA because we get movies.
We get them
all
up
the
here
time.
too in the Bay. We get them in the Bay, but I get lazy sometimes. Sorry, but no, it looks great, man. Like you're right.
Yeah.
He's very much a visual director. He's like, his sketchbooks and stuff. Whenever you get to see him when he's like showing them off, are just awesome. So he starts with like a vision.
Mm-hmm.
Get that. Very cool. So you got to paint these. Love them. I think these sculpts are still available over there. That's the apparatus. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Wild. Like what is even going on? But yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hellboy, this could be a source for more hands for you, because that's exactly what I'm thinking when I saw this. I'm like, oh, I have that fawn, that plunderling. I'm gonna see if I can find a head and get to it. That's a relatively straightforward one, but just this was just cool, man. I like, I get the reference, and I'm just like, yeah, why haven't we gotten more? There's some little, usually non-articulated little babies, but it's a cool one, man. It's a really good one. Look at him. That was a great one.
That was a fun one. The only reason why I was able to like pull this off with the actual like hand is because Flashpoint Customs, he was doing a custom on the body, and then I was like, "You need the hand?"
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, take it. And I was like, "Yes,
perfect score."
So
well, maybe that's where that Hellboy would be. McFarlane might, if they last long enough and end up at a Ross or something, they might be good for. All right, let's keep moving. Now we're in the comic book area. We kind of saw this guy already. Beautiful, amazing on a Marvel. This on a Marvel Legends body, but we saw him. I think he's dope. This guy.
Yes.
This is a deep cut that's well after my time. So me and my brother were Hasbro, a Real American Hero collectors, like from early childhood till about shortly after Battle Force 2000, and we're kind of like getting older and kind of stopped. So my brother kept going, and he, this was later. This is much later. Deep cut. What is it? The Pursuit of Cobra? Is that what it's called?
Cobra. Yeah.
And this was like a special anniversary figure take, 3.75 on Stalker, and you're like, I need to make this guy.
Yeah, because that was
the modern era.
That's my Stalker. That's one of those that my dad got for me for like a dentist appointment or something. It was.
Did you even know G.I. Joe? I'm just curious. When you did that, did you know G.I. Joe, or you just saw this character?
I just saw the character because there wasn't really. I was in that weird gap where there was no cartoon.
Yeah, that's why I ask.
Like Retaliation hadn't hit yet, or it was on like some weird channel that I didn't have, and so I just G.I. Joe's. This guy looks cool. So I got him because it was like, oh, this guy, he's like a black soldier with dreads. Like, whoa, let me get him. And then it was also Shadow Tracker. Shadow Tracker was on the shelf as well, and so I used my money to get that one. And so it was just the two dudes with dreads, and I was like, wow, just like my uncles or whatever. And I had to remake this. I've been planning on doing this one for a long time, but I finally was able to get all the parts, and I commissioned Blued Sculptures to do the head for me because I was like, I need to have the essence of the original 3 3/4 without looking so 3 3/4-y.
Yeah.
And she nailed it, man.
That's great. And the fact that you I didn't realize that you were commissioning these head sculpts, and that just makes it that much cooler. I mean, obviously you're collaborating with folks, but it's still kind of this vision, this thing that you're doing. You're like, I want to recreate this thing, and that's cool. That's such a great translation. I love it. Is this a Joe body? Is that a Stalker body? Is that one of the?
Yeah, that's the first Stalker figure, and then the boots and gear from green. I think the retro Snake Eyes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's like him and his ventriloquist dummy. Yeah. Hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
So is this coming? So here's that figure. We're gonna get this next. No,
we're gonna get a couple more Pursuit of Cobra though. We're gonna get a couple more. I can tell you that much.
All right. Now the movie was what it was. Again, I'm a childhood Joe fan. I was like, what are they doing? But there was something about this as a figure that was very like Micronauts to me, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Unfortunately, it looks a little too. It also like is confusing. What a weird design, because it's actually very Destro looking from like a distance.
Yeah, some of those designs are a little wacky, but
weird. Just anywho, let's watch the taste out of my Marvel. Hella Marvel that you do that. I love. And again, just because there's so much, and we'll just go look at this. But this is based on the cartoon Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which I gotta assume is like your childhood, right around that time.
Yeah, I watched that.
We're like different eras, man. I love it. Okay. So you took this is a Maximum body?
Yeah, the Maximum Hulk body. And I got that one specifically because it had the Ed McGuinness head. And that was one of the comics that my auntie gave me, was that run, Loeb and McGuinness. And so I was like, that's my Hulk right there. But I really wanted to I saw this head sculpt on Cults from Toy Buzz, Uncanny Toy Buzz. And I was like, boom, that's my cartoon. You know, I had to make it. And painting that green is always tricky. It's always a tricky match because there's so many different greens on the face. Like the arms are different green, the chest is a different green, the heads are a different green. So I was like, which one do I try and match? So just kind of did an agglomeration of everything.
Yeah, and it's multiple too. It's not only that, but like there's a highlight too. So you're kind of chasing a bunch of different things. It's cool though. I love this head because it is kind of, again, like we were talking with that Lich King, it's like this translation of a 2D thing to 3D. And I think it's cool looking. Like it's like whole gargoyles thing. A lot of people don't love that gargoyles, but I was like, yes.
I love that gargoyles line. I have all of them.
Yes. But this was really cool. And then you were talking about the McGuinness. This is also one that I brought up.
Yeah.
Did you commission this head as well?
Yep, that's another commission. Yeah, from Blue. Okay. And we kind of were figuring out like different like images because it's kind of tricky. Like McGuinness, he would switch up how the hair was done, you know, here and there. Sometimes it'd be like way bigger and up. Sometimes it'd be down. So I pulled from, you know, a few panels and then some just like some like Jack Kirby stuff. And like I was like, okay, let's slap all these together and then put it in a blender or whatever. And then so it has that big like clunky jaw and the square teeth. And I was like, boom, that's my guy right there.
That's it right there. Yeah, but also the eyes. There's something about a thing that he does with the madness in his eyes that I was like, oh yeah, totally, I see it. And so these are alternate ones where he didn't do the pupils. Is that what it is?
Well, this is one where what I was reading Immortal Hulk, and I liked the idea of like black sclera with just like the glowing green as pupils, and so I did that, and then I did one with no pupils because you know gotta give myself an easy out
this
once in a while.
Yeah, this one. No, it's cool. It's cool. And did these end up with you, or did you end up selling them to people? There it is.
I think all of them? the immortal one I kept, and then the black and green one I kept. I gave away the regular people one to somebody, the Marvel Legends size.
Gotcha. Very cool stuff, man. Are you getting bored of talking about your stuff? Because there's a lot more to talk about.
No, are you okay? I could go all day.
Okay. You know, sometimes it's like, man, this is getting weird. We're just talking about my stuff. Jamie Foxx, love the man. But this figure, I know a lot of folks were like, we want to see him, and you're like, okay, let's see him. Did you find this sculpt elsewhere, or did you have somebody do it?
This is one that I saw on CG Trader, and I bought it. It's from Stores Custom. He's a
and it looks
unbelievable
really
sculptor.
Good.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And so everybody kept telling me, hey man, you gonna hook it up? You gonna figure something out? Because it had the big lightning mask, and people wanted something that looked like Jamie.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, guys. I don't feel like it. And then I was like, all right, fine. And I did this one. And then a bunch of, I was like, I'm doing one. You guys got to duke it out, you know? And yeah.
Well, what's great about is the way you handle his hair as well, that fade. So it's really clean. It looks really good. Let's see. I think there's another shot. Here you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Subtle.
Keep it subtle. You know what I mean?
Super subtle. Yeah. He's got the line. He's got a good line right here. Got a lineup. But then it's like,
keep him crispy.
Yeah. That's really great. And then there's the sculpt, which you can already see. It's beautiful. Really great sculpt. Damn. So many talented people. It's wild. And now, thanks to the internet, we can learn about them, and you all can find each other and do cool things. I think one that I heard a lot of people like get real excited about that you did was this guy for sure. The Spider-Punk Hobie.
Yeah.
This was great.
That's one where again, I commissioned that one from Aerobis. Like as soon as I got out of the theater, well, one, I brought the Spider-Punk figure to the theater just because I have to have a toy with me when I go to the movies, just so I could
love it, man.
Passively pose it like while not even looking. And I brought it not even expecting to I don't watch trailers, so I didn't know anything about the character. I just went into the movie, and then immediately I was like, "Whoa, this is like my guy," you know?
Yeah.
Like, I was just blown away. And then so as soon as I got out of the theater, I called up Chris Aerobis, and I was like, "Yo, Chris, you gotta do a Spider-Punk head sculpt for me." And he was like, "I ain't even seen the movie yet," because he's in like Spain, you know. He's on a completely different time zone, and I don't know if it was even out for him. I was like, as soon as you get like time, you have to go see it, and then I need you to sculpt it for me, man. And so he's like, okay. And then so we made that happen. And I think I painted like 150 of these. This was like that was a whole year of my life, kind of.
Good on you though, and I hope you're. I hope you got your worth, because damn, you do good work and it's a lot of time, but man, and also thank you, because now these folks have really great looking Hobies on their shelves. This is a different sculpt. This is a little bit more on that.
By Going Ghost. That one's by Tristan Miller, and I was just like, I wanted everything. I was like, I want every single head sculpt that people were putting out. I was just painting them because like this one I really like.
I love this one.
Yeah. And
again, because it's that translation to a little bit more photoreal kind of thing, but it's got this fun little in between that's totally like what I love aesthetically. He looks great, and the look on his eyes, his lips. Look at that, man.
Yeah, and this is like when I did this one, I had a lot of intent recolor. Usually, I'll just kind of like feel it out, you know, like or go based off of an existing skin tone for the base body. I was like, let me think. He's a bajillion different colors in the movie, right? Yeah. Like, let me think of what he should look like if I'm going to paint him. And so I had a lot of intent behind like the specific color of his hair, like the shade of dark brown, the color of his lips, you know, his eyes, like, and the skin, obviously. Like I did it with a lot of intent. I love this sculpt. I painted 150 of them, so like it is like a fatigue thing to like ever even think about painting it again. But I love it, and it helped me pay down my student loans, like a big chunk.
Love it.
Everybody that supported me, that's why I pay it forward, because I'm like, hey, I ain't got no loans no more, so I'm gonna pay you sculptors, you know what I'm saying? And I gave some kickback to Chris as well, so I like to do that.
Okay. Remind me after we talk about student loans, but that's later. That's separate. All right. Dope. I love it, man. I think, and you can tell that there's love there in terms of just really paying attention to the character and trying to do him justice, man. So good. Speaking of this, man, you were talking about tearing up, looking at your figures or whatever, man. There were so many moments when I saw this movie in the theater where I was just like, holy crap. just on multiple levels. But obviously, it was already like that because we're dealing with the loss of Black Panther and kind of figuring that out. But when this character, like, I was so excited when I saw how they were going to handle Namor or Namor, right?
Mhm.
And the whole thing of like mixing in sort of Mexica Mayan direction of Kukulkan and all of that. I was like, dude, what are they doing? Yes, Marvel. Thank you,
Yeah.
Marvel. And when they did, so I'm a designer as well, love type. So you get the fonts, when they kind of show you where you're at. But
Mhm.
then when they do the type for
Different.
him, I was like, holy, the glyphs. And I was just like, they're
Yeah,
doing this. They're totally doing this right now. Like, the first movie was just beautiful Black excellence. Like, let's talk about what if Africa wasn't colonized, and it's all there on the screen. Thank you for bringing me to this world. What are we going to do with the next movie? Well, of course, we're going to check out Namor, and we're going to talk about Spanish colonization. And I was like, holy,
yeah.
this
This
movie.
movie is so special to
Whew.
like me and my lady because we watched it together. And my lady, she her dad is Mexican and her mom is from El Salvador.
Okay,
And so
gotcha.
like
Salvatruch.
again, we don't watch trailers. Obviously, a little bit of stuff comes through cultural osmosis, and I'm in the toy like community, so I see toy stuff or whatever. But I had no idea like the degree to which we were gonna get,
Really? Yeah.
like all of
Yeah.
this. So it was really cool,
Uh-huh.
and taking her to see it, and she was like bawling through half of the movie. Like yeah, like when Nakia is actually there in like Yucatan,
Mhm.
and like
Mhm.
she's speaking to that lady, like my lady, my girl, she
Yeah.
tears up, and she's like, I
Yeah.
understand. Like it's like
Yeah.
it was just really, and obviously I'm tearing up because it's like, oh man, like Chadwick's gone. Look
Yeah.
at the evolution of the characters. Like it was just a very emotional and special like thing for
Mhm.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we didn't get this though, the full-on Kukulkan Quetzalcoatl
yeah,
armor, and so here you are getting your hands on it and doing it justice with the paint and all the little detail. I freaking love it.
yeah. This was a
So
labor of
good.
love because it's a lot of like intricate stuff going on in that
Yeah,
headdress. Yeah. Ooh.
the metallics are gorgeous. Oh, so
Yeah.
good.
Thanks.
Yeah, I love this figure, even though he's smaller than most of the figures because I do a lot more like on the Legion side and AWOC kind of big. But
Mhm.
now I was like, no, he's cool. Like he's Namor. He's smaller, but he kick your ass. It's cool.
Yeah.
That head sculpt is I don't remember him having the nose thing. Does he have the nose piercing?
Yeah.
In the
The Marvel Legend has the nose thing. I don't think it's like
Oh, it
painted
does. Okay.
properly. So I kind of repainted the face. I made him a little bit more
I see.
brown.
Okay.
And I touched in like the mustache and stuff, and then did the nose piercing. Yeah,
He's dope.
and
He's
that
dope.
set was sculpted by a Mexican artist. He went by Mecatoy. I think he changed his name. I need to double check, but he, again, another phenomenal artist. And we like worked out a deal because he's in Mexico, and a lot of
Mhm.
people in America wanted like a printed set, and then so he was like, "Hey, could you like print them for me, and then like ship them
Sure.
for like U.S. customers or whatever?" And so I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
sure." And then so I was doing it for mainly like really the amount of money that I was doing it for, it barely covered like the resin cost or whatever. But I was just
Mhm.
like, if people want this, and I know how important it is to like my girlfriend, if they're like wanting this, I gotta do it for them. Like I'll eat the like 10 cents or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Different.
yeah, yeah.
And then just
For the love
get them in
to
people's
help. That's
hands.
cool. I saw you tag De Noche Huerta. Did he say anything by any chance? Do you remember?
I don't know. No.
I know.
Somebody did bring this because they did bring it to him actually, and he was like, "Wow." Like
Really?
yeah, yeah, and
That's cool.
people have done that before. It was one of my buddies. He was at some convention, and he apparently was blown away. Same thing happened with like Carl Lumbly. Somebody brought one of my Isaiah Bradley customs to
Oh,
him.
really?
Like
Love it.
that's happened a couple of times. Yeah. So he has seen this at the very least.
I love it, man. That's cool. Let's do 2 more comics. This is but a swerve. This is exactly my kind of stuff. You see an art, Mike Del Mundo doing image of this guy, Pac, as Bishop. Here it is. And so you're like, I want that figure. Is this a custom head, or was it a head that existed before?
Yeah, that's a commission.
Okay,
it's one of they commissioned. And so I went to JC Iron and I was like, hey, here's a crazy idea. And he was like, let's do it, you know? And that was a fun one. That, like, I love Juice. I watched it as a kid. Obviously, probably too young to watch Juice, but formative movie for me. And so I was like, I was all over this. And I had just got the Bishop figure in, the Mezco Bishop. So I was like, there's this. This is gonna be that.
Man, love it. All limbs on me. That's cool. I love it. I love it. Love it. Look at that. Oh, there's Jason. I hope he's not saying anything good or anything bad. All right. Very cool. I love this. And then let's do one last one, a little bit more classic. And so we'll swerve. We'll go back to DC because we spent so much time in Marvel Land. This is cool.
Yes.
One of these concepts that never made it to screen. Billy D. Williams was gonna be. Was it Batman '89 or was it Batman Returns? He was gonna be Two-Face.
Returns. He was gonna be Two-Face.
Okay. So I love this. I love this so much. Really great looking.
This was a labor of love because if you've ever customized and dealt with one of these like rubber jackets, almost impossible to paint. And the base coat was black.
It comes right off. Don't stick on.
Yeah, and I needed to do white on top of it, so it was already a mess. So I think I painted it like 5 times, different paints, different sealers, trying to figure it out. And I finally found out the secret, and I'm gonna tell you guys because I don't gatekeep. It's what is it? It's duplicolor, like automotive text, like textile and like the interior of your car paint.
Sure.
They have like a rattle can, and they have a couple colors, but black and white are the main ones, and that stuff is magic for rubber pieces. So that's how I did it, because I was trying everything. I was like Citadel paints, Vallejo paints, Wargamer paints. Wasn't working. I was like, okay, random rattle cans, and finally it was Beardy who put me on to that duplicolor stuff, and it worked like a charm.
No kidding. And so you just masked it really well to kind of get that crisp edge. Wow, look at you. All right, great job though. Fantastic looking for you. Look at that, just from the side, and you go over here. Very cool stuff, man. I love your curation is what it is. Like, especially to now know that you're doing these custom heads, it really is just like this. These are the things that I want to do, and I love that I love what you choose, and I love that you're able to execute so well. So it's really cool, man. You're doing good stuff.
Thank you, man.
We don't see enough of these characters. All right, so now we've looked at all these kind of like Marvel and DC stuff. I know that you've also been doing what I love and folks are used to here on the news. We talk a lot about indie toys. Love Brutal Realm. You mentioned Ogun. When I first saw that Ogun concept art on that Brutal Realm thing, I was like, wait a second. These guys really going to be taking like Ogun and doing a Motu version, like give me deep action fantasy with him. And then they started showing all these other characters. I'm just like, wait, they're going like with Native American folk. They're doing like folks from the Americas. I'm like, this is amazing. This is great. What is this line? And then, of course, who's involved? And you're one of the painters involved in doing. You did a bunch of stuff, like you were printing out prototypes and painting, right, for this stuff.
Yeah, I printed out their first round of the playable prototypes, and then painted them, and then we got a couple iterations in. So I did like 2 rounds of each of their like main 3 characters. So yeah, that was a crazy experience that I got to like do. Shout out to them for the opportunity. Learned a whole hell of a lot doing that, because I was working with different resins, and like I was learning about the like all types of stuff. And so painting them and getting them to them, and them using like one of the coolest things about it is Trevor took photos, like some of the like promo pictures, and it was like, oh wow, my work has been photographed by the guy,
Trevor,
like by Trevor. So his picture of Ogun is like, I'm like, oh man, I need that as a poster. I was like, you guys should have made that. You guys should have made that one of the tiers. I want a poster. But yeah, so this was a crazy project. This was definitely some crazy stuff.
It's cool, man. That Ogun. Did you get to do the Ogun shield as well? Because that's like my favorite part of that figure.
Yeah, I painted the whole, like that whole package.
That shield is amazing. Yeah,
that was a couple iterations on it, and yeah, that I just love that whole figure. I cannot wait until these hit. Yeah, I did that first round, and then I did some of their extra barbarians, and then we talked a little bit earlier about like overworking myself because I was doing the Gentle Giant stuff, the teaching,
and do these after
doing those, yeah, and I had like run into some health stuff, and my doctor was like, "Chill, bruh, knock it off.
Yeah.
You gotta take a break." And so I kind of, if you look at my Instagram, there's like a gap of like a number of months. And where I just like I wasn't able to do the thing I love the most, which was kind of crazy, but it also like led me to learning a lot and like focusing on like the Nico of it all. And then
dude,
and I finally got the green light from my doctor. He was like, all right, we good. You could go back to being on your bullshit or whatever. I hit the ground running. And so
Booyah, dude.
Yeah, that was
sorry, that's the word I was telling you earlier. Like, you got to be careful not to get sick. Here, dude, booyah, state of being sleep deprived or inadequately rested.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, dude. Yeah, you got to rest, dude. Okay, but so we get dope figs. Thank you for your sacrifice for our cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, these are going to be great. I'm really looking forward to Brutal Realm. I'm also looking forward to the Cursed Dead. Again, shout out once again to Adam.
Yeah, shout out Adam and the whole team.
And Phil. And I don't know who else is involved, but yes, fantastic stuff. So this is the character that you did for them. You did the paint master for their what's his name? The Crankle.
Yeah. And this one was a lot of fun, but also a big challenge because they gave me like soft goods, and I hadn't really painted like soft goods before. They just gave me the cloth. It was white.
That's right, because he wanted to do a take on it, like he was talking about like the old but he wanted to kind of have it more distressed and everything. So that's cool. I hadn't even thought about that. So you do the paint master on that, and they're somehow going to replicate that. Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Because it's just such a crazy like figure, and I got to do a lot of shading, and like they basically said, go nuts, like do your painter thing. And so I definitely did. And people, from what I heard, liked it and ordered quite a few. So I'm really glad, and I can't wait till these are in hand as well.
Yeah, it's a great figure. And what's great about these is like in classic, action figure form. I guess in some ways Brutal Realm is similar, but they're using the same buck, and there's a lot of similarities between them, but the way they're painted, right? They're just like night and day, completely different, beautiful looking characters. So that's great. And of course, speaking of awesome indie toys, Odious, this from the latest series. I know you were doing the accessory stuff you mentioned for the first Kickstarter in that era, but for the latest Kickstarter, you did the Cowboy Odious heads that we're looking at here, right? And there's a couple of them, 3 of them. Is that right?
I think just 2.
With a mask and without the mask.
Yeah, those were a blast to do, and I remember giving Wade a lot of guff for not involving me in painting anything in the first one, and he was like, next time. And then when he was getting ready to ramp up and actually start like these ones, he was like, hey, I got some heads for you to paint, and I was like, oh really? Like I was kind of just joking, but he was like, nah, I want you involved, and so I did those ones, and they were a lot of fun.
They look great. There's the head. Yeah, these figures are going to be red. Love them. And then, of course, I gotta say, like, I know he was trying to figure things out as they're moving on, but I sold this figure based on this head. Like, people were just like, this is dope. My brother ended up grabbing one when he saw it. He's like, yep, instantly, I want that head.
Hell yeah.
It's fantastic. It's such a cool idea and such a cool execution.
Yeah, it was definitely like a Mary thing, especially because I work with Kevin, who sculpted these and printed them, and so Wade was like, "You gotta get them to Nico. He's like, you gotta get them to Nico so you can paint them." And then he was like, "It was, I think, maybe if not like the last week of the campaign, it was like the second to last week or something." And he was just trying to, he was like thinking of stuff. He was like, how can we get over the hump? How can we like push? How can we push? And so he had these sculpted, had them printed. Kevin walked them over to me, like, on his lunch break. And then he was like, when do you think you'll have them painted? And I said, I'll have them painted tonight. And he was like, nah, you're crazy. And then I did. And so and then the next morning I went down to the post office and was like, express, shipping, got him to him the next day. He was super stoked. And a lot people were a big fan of these, and I'm really glad. I'm really, really glad.
Absolutely, man. This is so classic. The sculpt is classic, but the color treatment, so it's real subtle, like you were talking about Hobie, in terms of like the different shading and everything. I can see it here too. I love that it's like there's so many thoughtful decisions here to bring out these, like, I guess what's the equivalent of a highlight for his fur. So good.
Yeah, and there was like 6 of them.
Those eyes, man.
There was like 6 different, because Kevin, he printed a bunch of them. He printed up 6, and he was like, yeah, just whichever one comes out the best. And I was like, whichever one comes out the best, I'm painting all of these, like I'm painting all of them. And so I did. It was literally like different browns, dark brown base coat, black wash, black base coat, brown dry brush. Like, I was picking out different combos, mainly trying to match the odious body, but also just seeing like what kind of looked good. And so I was able to get a bunch of samples to Wade, and that's the one that he picked. And I think, looks pretty good, if I may say so myself.
Yeah, it looks really good. And for real, like, people were just like, there's something about that's real classic about this. Like, it's very like old school monster movie kind of vibe, and it just looks really good. Yeah, that was a great one. Anyway, man, you do great work, and I'm really glad to see you getting picked up. I know it sounds like you were doing some mass market retail toys. Too bad about the Diamond Select figs, but those are cool that you got to do them. And you're also getting to do awesome indies. And for me, that's where a lot of my attention's at. Just cause. And I think it's a great space, a lot of creative stuff. And that's where you get all these folks like Wade and Adam, and they're just sort of like, hey, we want to have this wild idea. And it tends to be kind of fun and kind of out there. So not unlike you, commissioning heads and stuff. All right, I want to shift gears, and I just saw the time, like, oh yeah, we were going a little long. Let's take a quick look. I just want to show these, and I've shown them before, but I just love that you have. Oh, that's not the right link. Hold on. Let's start with Barda. See, now you're seeing the behind the scenes look, folks. Barda. Again, one of these things where we don't have, I don't think, really great representation of her yet. And so what I love about not just you commissioning stuff and painting stuff, when you're involved, this is the Secret Santa stuff. So if I'm understanding this right, you put what you want. Is that right? And then other people say what they want.
You create a list.
Yeah. And so again, it speaks to your tastes. There's something about your tastes that I just love, man. She's like on your list. So we're going to look at a couple that you got that I was like, damn. So the fact that you're doing 3 awesome women. Well, you've done other ones, but 3 specific women that I'm going to look at now. There's really 4, but just time. Big Barda, dope. So shout out to, who was it again?
I believe that was Token Customs.
Token Customs.
Yes.
Very cool. Such a cool looking Barda, and the size is pretty good compared to these other figures, because there's a reason she's called Big Barda.
Yep.
I love it, man. I love that you asked for it and you got it. Look at that classic Kirby goodness right there. That is awesome. And you've got her on your shelf. Really cool. So there's that. Speaking of awesome women figures that we don't see enough action figure plastic love of, man, there's 5 women now. There's the Shakti, there's the Nubia, but we'll limit it. So this character is one that, like, I don't think we're ever, to be real, gonna see in Marvel Legends, but we should. But that's okay because you got this one by is 3 Customs 2023.
Oh,
is that right?
No, who made that one? Because that's like the hashtag.
Oh, that's the tag for the Secret Santa.
Yeah. Oh my God, who made that one? That might have been.
I hate to put you on the spot. My bad.
Ethan Suppley. It might have been Ethan Suppley. I'll have to double check if it's not. I'll leave it in the comments on the replay.
My bad. And I'll take a look at it. I'll do my research and put it in. But it is fantastic. Whoever did it, if it's Ethan, great work. Because there's a lot of detail on this costume. Right? Kushala's got like a lot of deco going on.
Yeah.
And
which is kind of my secret to picking things is often I'll pick like
you make it hard.
Yeah, whatever I don't feel like making.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want to do this one.
Yeah. Somebody make it for me, man. I'll be happy. And usually people are up for the challenge. I'm also one of those guys that's like, I don't take the easy route out. I want the wacky, crazy. Like if it's gonna take forever for me to paint, I want to do that one. I want to make the craziest thing on the list sometimes. So yeah, that's the spirit of the event, man.
Well, Kushala's dope, and you've got the Ghost Rider demon form, or the very cool. I love it. For whatever reason, there's a lot of great newer Marvel women indigenous characters that have been coming down the pike, and I love it. There's a couple more to be made, but this one, as I mentioned earlier, I love Absolute Wonder Woman. Yeah, too cool. I showed this already, so folks are familiar, but she's just fantastic. Great read, folks.
This one was done by Buku Customs. He's he absolutely killed it with this one. Like there was so much. I was just expecting Wonder Woman, but he came with a bunch of like. He was like, "Nah, you getting alternate bracers. You're getting head and hand for when he turns into Medusa." Like that, I knew immediately. I was like, "Oh, this guy knows ball. Like he's really, he's tapped into the comic as well."
And the transition is cool on this face. Love it.
And the big old sword.
So good, folks. You need to read it. The giant sword. But like as I said earlier, it's my favorite version of Wonder Woman. I love how they've kind of worked in other elements of her lore, other characters in her world that get sort of worked into this version. It's really cool, and of course, the Medusa's dope. And I love the nose on this one in particular, based on the actual art that's inside the books. That first arc.
Yeah,
cool stuff.
That's why I like that head. I love Wonder Woman with a big old schnoz. I'm one of those guys. Like Frank Miller, he gets a little crazy sometimes, but he drew her with like a broad nose whenever he drew her, and I really like that.
It's cool. Now, of course, in the Secret Santa swap, you got to offer something, and I can't not show you getting your hands on an Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Even if it's just the arms, but this is cool. I love that you. So
in the feet,
I'm assuming.
The feet too.
Oh, is it the feet as well? Okay, so it's the Marvel Apes. So this was on. Who received this? Do you remember who received this?
That was Super Yeti. That was Super Yeti.
Okay.
And I have known him for a long time, and he inspires me because he's always working on something crazy and wacky, like cartoon wise. And so it was really cool, like to get that list. And I was like, "Oh, Marvel Apes, got to do Marvel Apes. This is the best thing on the list." And then when I saw that he got it, I was super happy. And he was like, "I knew it was you." He was like, "I knew. I could tell. I could tell by your hand, the paint work. I could tell." So that was really cool.
That's cool, man. I love that you, because that's a lot of work to figure out how to do this. And so I saw that you were having a hard time with the arms. What is it? The pin? When you say
The pins are completely different. Like
Mhm.
because the AWOC one, they're like they have the disc at the end,
Yep,
and
the
then
mushroom.
as far as the Marvel Legends ones, they are kind of it's kind of just like a cylinder with a little kick to it. And so I
Right.
had to I tried to splice like, okay, let me cut the disc off and then turn it into like a the peg like Wolverine, but that didn't
Right.
work. Wouldn't sit right. So then I spliced together the two joints and then it just kept breaking. And so eventually I was like, all right, let me bust out the software and I printed I modeled and printed a whole new joint that like meshed the two. And
That's wild.
yeah, so shout out to having a 3D printer because I get to do crazy stuff like that whenever I break a joint or whatever,
Yeah. So did you cut off the original AWOC peg and shove your new peg into the shoulder? Is that how that works?
Yeah, I cut the peg out and then
Mm-hmm.
put in the new one,
Replace it.
with the heat, glued it, and then boom. And so yeah,
Damn.
at that point it's like fully functional, and it was really cool. And
And Thanos is no slouch either. Did you custom this head, or how'd you do the face, the head?
That was a commission. I got Isaiah to do it for me.
Okay.
Because I was doing the Wolverine, and I was like, I want to do something a little extra. I want to give him another option or like another. I like to do the double. Yeah, you can see, like that's modeled up by your boy.
That's badass.
And,
that's great, man.
Yeah. And I had
that's really
an
cool.
extra from the Psylocke 2-pack, and I said, that's gonna be Ape Thanos. He's big. He could be a gorilla, and so I sent him like a bunch of pictures. Like, here's a gorilla face. How do you think we could? And I did some sketches or whatever. He's like, I think I could make this happen. Me and Isaiah, we have a funny relationship because he's like, what crazy thing do you need me to do now? Every time I message him, because it's always something like the Lich King, Ape, Lucha Ricochet, like it's always something crazy. So he's like, what crazy thing are we working on now? So that was a lot of fun. And then yeah, the head on the Wolverine is like, that's the AWOC head that I sculpted the like mask on.
Oh, no kidding. So when you say sculpted, is it like epoxy sculpted? You just added on top?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's manual, clay sculpting, which it was good to get back to that.
Old school. Yeah. Man, that's cool. That's just yeah. What you're doing is really inspiring. I mean, you are. I know you're painting paint masters for mass market retail figs. You're doing stuff for indies, and effectively, you're designing stuff. I mean, you're creating your own characters, and it's cool. It's really cool to kind of see how this all kind of works out. And there's Mega J hitting me up with something, and I hope it's nothing too personal. Anyway, I think that's a great place to stop. We're here like a little over 2 hours. Man, your work is fantastic. And again,
thank you.
Yeah, I hope that's okay to hear. So that's probably but yes, respect. I'll just leave it at that. Lots of respect. It's great stuff, man. So yeah, thanks for coming on, sharing the story. I love, I forget who was on when I was looking at your stuff with them, and we're just like, whoa, this stuff is so cool. But of course, it's awesome to be able to have you on here and talk about it and kind of share a little bit about the work. So,
oh yeah, this was a blast. As you can tell, I like to yap and tell stories behind things. So this is what I love. This is what I love to do.
It's good stuff, man. Seriously, your work is really good. I love your eye, and I love how you're kind of like thinking about like things to create. It's really cool. I hope someday to maybe see. Have you thought about like maybe characters and stuff, your own stuff that you'd like to create? Is that something that's in there?
I have he's my mascot or whatever. Well, he's not my icon right now, but I have a mascot. His name's Idwala, and he's like a Moai, the Easter Island head guys.
Yeah.
And I have
the end of that one first post.
Yeah, and I have a whole like unit in the works. I have a figure of him, and I have like this extra cast built around him, but I'm just working on a story thing. I want to do a comic for him.
Nice.
So yeah, I've got some original stuff coming down the pipeline. It's just a matter of like, I want to yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
I love it, man. I can't wait to see it because I'm all about the indie stuff. I'm always saying, actually, like that. What is it? Ninjas. What was that ninja thing that you're doing?
Oh, the Ninjambi. Yeah.
Ninjambi. Like, that is great. So AWOC, all this stuff. Like, I think young folks, the folks that you and I work with, you're middle school, right? I'm high school.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for a long time, and I've seen
my students love the AWOC stuff because I brought them in one day, and they were like, "Whoa, is this a gorilla with an axe or a hammer?"
And it's 100% made for them. It's like the feel of the plastic. It's meant. Jason was like, I want to make new stuff for kids because we had our stuff, but eventually, I mean, sometimes old people get weirdly gatekeepery, which is why, something new from Star Wars happens and there's some controversy. Something new from Masters of the Universe, there's some controversy. You know what? Screw you guys. Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. You can't say anything about it here. Here's the ninja things. And I love that because I think young folk need their own things that they can be excited about and grab onto. Just like you needed Ben 10. That wasn't a part of my childhood. It wasn't some recycled thing. It was a new thing. So I loved seeing you support indies. I love the idea of you doing your own stuff someday. So I'm a fan, man. So thank you very much, Nico, for hanging out with me for a couple of hours. Again, this was a pre-record. So if you didn't catch that, we weren't being mean. We weren't being dismissive or ignoring you. We just can't see you. So I appreciate you doing this, man. I'm actually doing a teacher thing today. I'm going to be at a PD conference in Sacramento. So this works out great. While you're doing D&D, I hope your campaign is successfully moving ahead right now.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Nico. Yeah,
we're probably going to face some zombie army or something crazy.
Love it.
We're always fighting. Yeah.
Man, I would love to have you back. I want to see you in a couple of weeks down at WonderCon, and hopefully we can connect again at Legions Con because I had to not be there this past year, but I will definitely be there in 2026. So,
sure.
Right on, man. Thank you again for hanging out. Is there any place in particular you want to make sure that? Yeah, anything you want to make sure that people know about that's coming up that they should pay attention to, or?
Just pay attention to the Instagram. You never know what you're going to see on there, man. It's always going to be something crazy, something fun. Cool. And I'm always, especially in my stories, sometimes I'll show some like archive stuff that I don't feel like posting to the timeline or forgot to post or whatever. Or sometimes you get a book review or an album review. You never know. You're going to get all types of stuff.
Mixed it up. Yeah.
We do it all over
here. And again, that little QR code down by his chin and the URL that's going to be creeping up just now will take you to the links page. And I'll make sure that the Dave Wonder stuff is in there. Of course, Unparalleled Universe stuff is in there, and folks can follow you and get to hang out with you more online. All right, man. It's the West Coast. We're recording on a Thursday. We've got work tomorrow in the morning. These teachers need to get some rest, unless you're going to be working for Gentle Giant now and maybe doing some customs, or you're going to get some.
Still got to clock in early, no matter what. That's the thing. Okay. I always got to wake up.
All right, man. Well, good luck to you down in LA. Thank you very much for again hanging out. Thank you to everybody who's watching. For sure, hit the like, the subscribe, and all of those things. That's super important. They tell me. And yeah, that's it. We'll have a guest next week. I don't remember who it is, but come and hang out or check the community tag. Sundays, 3:45, normally live. All right, folks. Thank you very much. Thanks again to Nico Artman Customs, doing amazing work, doing the work for the action figure gods. Appreciate you. All right, folks, that's it. We say goodbye. We wave. We play some music, I think. Wait, yes, music. There it is. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. Be good. Yeah. All the things. Play with your toys. Yada, yada, yada. Nico. You got to do grading tonight? I got to do grading.
You're always